Hey YouTube, Rob Brindle here, coming from my spare room since I've been thrown out because Scrubs is on and my wife is watching it. Today we're going to be doing a double review of a manga that I've found a few months, about a year ago, called Hellsing, and slowly followed by Hellsing Ultimate. First one, Hellsing. Where is it? Hellsing is the story of the Hellsing organization, which was founded by the fabled man himself, Gabriel Van Helsing, who, after the defeat of Dracula, just decided that there were plenty more left of the evil in the world, so he set this organization up. It's been handed down from the Helsing family to the most recent member, who is her. Her name is Integra Wingates Helsing, and her uncle originally wanted to take over because her dad, he died of something, and Integra got the Helsing organization over the uncle. He was a bit miffed, so he goes to kill her. She finds out from her dad before he died to basically go down to the basement of the building, and in there they find a vampire who is called Alucard. I'm not going to give you any options on this one, but I'm going to let you figure out who that person is. It's not that difficult. He happens to have been asleep for about 20 years and wakes up when Integra's in danger. She takes over and becomes the head of the Helsing organization after killing her uncle. Now, in this version, the story isn't what it sounds like. It starts off originally about Helsing and rogue vampires who are being infected by things called freak chips, which kind of look like RAM chips, but with extra sort of wiring coming out of them. These then get implanted into people and they become artificial vampires. So it starts off with that. Then later there are about there's about 12, 13 episodes. By the time it gets to about episode 6, you've learned a bit about Alucard and Ceres. Ceres, also, I should point out, is this girl here. She was originally a police officer who, after being attacked by a load of ghouls in a church by a vampire priest, a ghoul is someone who was a non-virgin who got bitten by a vampire and is effectively turned into what we call a zombie. She decides that she wants to live after Alucard rescues her and becomes a vampire. Well, becomes a vampire who works for Alucard himself. The story then goes on to explain more about the freak chips and where they're coming from and going around various bits and bobs. Then in comes another vampire, a pureblood in a way, called Incognito, who's grey, has these like weird markings around his body and this humongous eye, which is really kind of creepy. I won't tell you the full story because I'll post a link from Wikipedia. It was good. The very end is a bit of sort of okay. If you've watched it, you'll know what I mean. Doesn't really explain who does what at the very end, but without showing you a screenshot, which I really can't do because otherwise it'll be copyright, etc. It won't make sense. But like I said, I'm going to put the links on from Wikipedia. As I said, 13 episodes long. Each one's about 20 minutes. That's what, 6, 12, 18. About 200 minutes. So that's what, just over 3 hours. Then, also, I should point out that in this series, there's this man here. His name is Alexander Anderson, who is a member of the Iscariot organization, who is basically part of the Roman Catholic Church, who is a member of a thing called Section 13, which is kind of like their version of Hellsing. Then, we are going to go on now to Hellsing Ultimate. Hellsing Ultimate can be completely watched. You can buy the whole lot. Series Part 1 to 4 came out on as single episodes. Then they stopped because apparently there was something wrong with Genian, I think it's called, who were doing all the translations and such. So I've recently found out that on eBay and on Play and Amazon you can actually buy part 5 to 8 in English dub, which I plan on doing as soon as I come across some money. Okay, the difference in this story is that it's all to do with the Nazis, which is actually a better story than the original box of Hellsing. The general principle is the same. Alucard wakes up from his sleep. He defends Integra from her uncle. He dies. She becomes the head of Hellsing. And Ceres meets up with Alucard and becomes a vampire. But the bigger backstory is the fact that freak chips are not in this one, which is really handy. That the Nazis have come back, and because of some insane little major who appears to have not aged over, well, since the end of World War II, has decided to rebuild the Nazi Empire as best as he can with a special order that he received apparently from Hitler himself, to basically make a vampire army. He does this and attacks London. Now, if you want to read the whole story, if you haven't bought the DVDs but you are interested, you can read the whole story on Manga Reader, which I will post the link for, along with the description from Wikipedia. Now, this story, I haven't finished watching it. I know what happens because I've got the whole series, the whole comic of the series on my computer, and it is a hell of a lot better than the other one. It goes back into far better detail about Alucard's past, including Ceres, Integra, Anderson, Walter the butler, who can basically kill people using dental floss, which is, he wears these like rings and he can basically just kill anything with these great ease. Alucard in this is far better than depicted than he is in the original one because he has a better sort of range of using his powers, etc. And also you get to see the other people. So you get the Hellsing organization, Iscariot, the wild geese, who are kind of like mercenaries who end up working for the Hellsing organization after it gets attacked by the Valentine brothers, who are hang on, see, him and him. How they get killed is quite gruesome, but then they are all fighting against the Nazis, called the Millennium Organization, which is, as they characterize it, it's a span of 1,000 years, which is how they figure it out. There's also a brief reference to Star Wars, the Millennium Falcon in there, which is quite ironic. What else? Yeah, there's also a scene in box 3, I think it is, where 3 or 4, I forget, where Alucard flies and a Blackbird SR-71 from its highest altitude and then falls straight down and smashes right, at full power into an aircraft carrier and kills everyone on there, and then goes to kill the girl who's got this like magical musket. I'm not going to tell you any more about it because obviously that was spoil the surprise at the end. But Hellsing Ultimate, Hellsing Normal, these two, very worth watching. They are brilliant mangas, and they should be included in your list of stuff to watch. After this, I'm going to be, I think I'll probably move on to the Guyver series or Gungrave, the series, for my next review. If I had to give ratings out of this, okay, I would give this out of 10. I would give this one about a 6-ish for the fact that it was original but needs improvement. This one, however, I would give a 9.5 out of 10 because it is just freaking awesome. Okay, next one, like I said, is either going to be the Guyver series or Gungrave, and I will see you later. Rock on, YouTube.